Yes, thank you all very much for being here. I hope all of you were in there for the last section, which we call critical issues discussion, which was on transformation. That has actually been an ongoing process. The process of change and transformation has been ongoing since the day that in fact, actually before Dr. Choi arrived on the campus, we begun this process. And you heard some of the things that we're doing. In particular, we are making this a better institution for students, both less expensive and more accessible, as well as increasing the excellence and increasing the research. A lot of this is driven through courageous changes in changes to finances and in strategic investment. I want to make one final point. When you hear the talk of cuts at the University of Missouri, that is absolutely incorrect. That is not what's going on. There are some people who've been affected, but the cuts are really a strategic reallocation of resources into those areas that it takes to make the state of Missouri better, to make a better institution for our students, and to make all of us better. So that's the process that President Choi has been leading, and I am absolutely thrilled that Curator Sunvolt has agreed to be the chairperson next year, and I am absolutely confident that he will be as dedicated or more dedicated than we have been to this transformation. President Choi?
Thank you. So I want to talk a little bit more about the affordability matter at our university. As many of you know, back on September 14th, we announced over $260 million in strategic investments for the university. $100 million of that will be for the Promise and Opportunity, as well as the Next Generation Scholarships. We expect to raise, using that $100 million, another $100 million from the campus, and match that with over $200 million in philanthropy. That is going to be a very heavy lift, but we are very committed in providing access and opportunity to the best and the brightest in Missouri who also have needs that we can meet through these scholarships. But also, as part of that initiative, the work that's been done by our University of Missouri campus bookstores, and we have the leaders here with us, has really transformed, their work has transformed our ability to provide low cost and affordable course materials for our students. To reduce that cost from textbooks that would cost over $300 to less than $40 to $50. We want to drive that cost down even more. And so the announcement today with Cengage, one of the national leaders when it comes to providing low cost and affordable course materials, is tremendous. We hope that through this partnership, our students can save, on average, $3 million per year. But our goal is to encourage our faculty members to adopt more courses that use the type of material that Cengage and other partners provide. So we're very excited about that. More to come, and to talk about what is needed for this to become even more successful. We need faculty members who care deeply about access and affordability to adopt these new models. So thank you.
Any questions?
President Trey, you've only been here a year and a half, as you pointed out. But
Yes.
From very early on in your time here, you talked about needing to increase research dollars.
That's right.
It seems like so far it's kind of a mixed bag.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just curious your assessment of the money coming in, whether or not it's where you wanted it to be at this point.
So as you saw, we've seen significant increases in awards to the university. Right now, what we have to do is do a better job of providing more opportunities for our faculty members to submit proposals. But proposals can't be submitted in a vacuum. We need instrumentation. We need laboratory spaces that enable collaboration to solve some grand challenge problems. So the investments that we're going to be making in the TPMC, as well as investments that enable more research opportunities in the opioid addiction crisis, are the foundations that we're laying now. But this should have been done 2, 3, 4 years ago, but it's not too late. But we are going to see accelerated proposals because we're making that a very high priority for the university. I'm confident that we're going to be able to make the significant leaps that we can because of faculty members that you saw today, whether it's Robert Paul or Rachel Winograd. We have outstanding faculty members. We have to give them the opportunities to compete at the national level.
We've also been joined, by the way, by Curator Julia Burnsick, the elected Vice Chair for 2019.
And by the way, what is your
Ryan
name?
Delaney from St. Louis Public Radio.
Oh, yes, Ryan. Okay, good.
And there's a little bit of a segue here, but in terms of space for your faculty to be able to do research, there's a huge maintenance backlog across public higher education institutions in the state.
Sure.
I'm curious how that looks to you. It's 1.4 billion across 13 campuses, so not
That's
quite as
right.
big at just the UM system. But
That's right.
does
And
it impact research and attracting students and all the other things we just talked about?
it does. It does because we have to keep our facilities as modern as possible to attract the students and the faculty members to do the work. So we have a plan going forward to address the most critical buildings that we need to meet the 5 compacts that we have as part of the Missouri Compacts. But it's critical for us to identify those spaces that are available either for teaching or for research and provide that for the most critically needed or the highest priority projects that we have going forward. Right now, we don't have a space crunch. I think we have a space allocation issue, which means that there are some faculty members whose research is not at the level that we expect, who still have research facilities that have to be reallocated for higher priority projects. So that is a process that we're going through it at each of the 4 campuses. Thank you. Yes, and
I'm Nancy Goldman from the Columbia, Missouri.
that's right.
I was curious a little bit more about the Cengage initiative. And
Sure.
kind of what are, outside of financial changes, what
Sure.
are kind of the practical changes students will see and how they get their textbooks and kind of what is the timeline for those changes?
That's a really good question. Let me turn that question over to either Dale Sanders or Sherry Pollard. And can you come up here so that you can use the mic? And if you can share with us your title at the university.
Thank you. I'm Director of Campus Stores. And from a practical perspective, what students are going to see is all of their course materials will be delivered through the LMS. That will all be digital, except for those that have a real need for print, and we do have some print options for those students. So,
And do you know what the timeline is for when students will see those changes?
spring of 19. We're on a very aggressive timeline
This spring.
this spring. In January, right, Cengage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Stone, do you have anything to add? If you do, you can come up here. Thank you, Sherry. Sure. Can you tell us who you are?
Hi, I'm Kevin Stone, Chief Sales and Marketing Officer with Cengage. Perhaps just a little bit more color on what Cengage Unlimited is all about and the faculty choice and the student choice that is still in place. You know, faculty adopt the course materials that they choose to use for their course. That's unchanged. Students can decide how they want to access the course. That's been the historical model. Do I want to buy the product? Do I want to do without the product? In this setup, the students will have a very clear option to get the course materials through the LMS, as our partners in the bookstore implementation side have defined. And why this is great, we think, for the students is that all the students will have access to their course materials day one, which will help very much with their overall success in their coursework and their ongoing persistence in the program and eventually their graduation. So it's both affordability and it's quality of learning and it's overall performance for the students in their academic and professional careers.
And just a quick follow-up to that as well. So you talked about how it's
Cengage.
Yes, it's Cengage Unlimited and how it's kind of a subscription model.
Yes.
Will students have to subscribe to that model, and will there be any sort of discount with this partnership, or would those rates be the same as they are online?
I think our partners at the institution can describe exactly how the cost will be handled with the student. But once a student is in a course using Cengage materials, they will be provisioned with a subscription, not only for that course, but as they move into other courses where those same materials or the materials provided by Cengage have also been adopted, that subscription will follow the student. So as they take multiple courses using our content, the value of that subscription will increase for those students.
Nancy, there's a press release that's going out at about 12:30 today that will answer that question in more detail too.
Okay, thank
Any
you.
other questions?
I'm Roger McKinney, reporter with Columbia Tribune. I'm interested in what the chairman think of the governor's decision to keep it on.
I'll defer to the new chairman because that's what old chairmen do.
Can you speak into the mic?
We obviously accepted to stay on a year. So, I mean, that's all I can say is that he held us over a year, and we both decided to stay on a year.
I would like to add, what I appreciate is the confidence, if you read that letter, that the governor is showing in the direction of the University of Missouri and the changes that have been made. I think the important part of that letter is the confidence that the governor of this state has shown in our university.
Yes.
I have another one. So I wanted to ask also about the e-learning initiative.
Sure.
How do you plan to get to that 25,000 goal? I know you mentioned Arizona State had a longer time frame, about 8 years, to do something similar. So, with such a time crunch, I guess.
Sure,
25,000,
sure.
kind of what's the plan
Sure.
to recruit those students?
So we are in the process of developing that plan now. We're working with Parthenon, which is a national leader that has worked with a number of universities to develop their online profile. And for us, we need to be very strategic to say that this is going to focus on adult learners and our traditional students to meet the workforce needs. So we're going to have to focus on those areas of the workforce that have a deficit when it comes to producing the number of graduates that are needed. They relate to fields like information technology, business technology, and health profession. And so we want to be able to identify those projects and take in some of our best faculty members who can teach those courses and scale it up. But beyond that, it's not just delivering the courses that are high quality. We have to have good advising, good mentoring, good coaching. And what we saw at the university, what we saw at Arizona State University was truly compelling because they had a scalable system that's able to track the progress of each student, regardless of their geographic location, and to have them progress through the program. So as it was stated earlier by Curator Phillips, it's not going to be an easy road, but we have to be very strategic and we have to collaborate. The benefit that we have is that we have 4 universities that have good success in the e-learning market. Now what we have to do is pick the best of that group to elevate up at the system level and then scale it to deliver to 25,000 students within 5 years.
Mr. Simbold, I'm interested to hear from you how you see your role as chairman and the challenges in the coming year.
Well, I think the interesting part and the good part is the strength of this board. Not a lot of new faces coming on. Being on the Board of Curators is really a learning stage when you get 3 new ones in different odd years, and it sometimes takes a little bit away from the continuity of a board working together. And I think we feel as a board we have great leadership with President Choi, and change isn't easy, but we've made quite a bit of changes in the last couple of years. My role as chairman, and as I said in there, I've been part of a lot of teams, is to utilize the strength we have on the board, challenge some, get out of the way of others, and work closely with President Choi in trying to implement and help him to implement what he wants to get done, what we want to get done for our university.
KOMU, no question?
Answer everything I was going to ask.
Okay, good. Are there others? Yes?
I was wondering, with the proposed retirement plan that was discussed yesterday, is kind of what do you see as more of an urgent priority? Is that more aimed at retention or recruitment of faculty?
Both, but also it's focused on ensuring that our pension plan is solvent for the hardworking faculty and staff who put many years into this university. And currently, we are 84% funded, which is much higher than the national average. So we are in good shape. But this board has been very focused on our ability to deliver on the promises that we made to the people who worked at the university. So it's a combination of making the plan attractive for recruitment, retention, but also making sure that our plan is solvent. St. Louis Public Radio? You're good? Columbia Daily Tribune? Oh, anyone on the phone? Is there a question for our new vice chair? Yes.
Well, yeah, well, how do you see your role as vice chairman? Well, tell me about the challenges as you see them.
My role is to support President Choi's vision, support the chancellors, and effectuating all of these great changes. We have a lot of momentum, and I'm really excited about that. The challenge is that change is hard, and it's really hard. And I've lived through a lot of these types of changes, having gone through different corporate mergers, and we're going through one now. So I can certainly relate to some of the anxiety and trepidation that people feel about change, but I also see how positive it has impacted us already, as we heard in their talk, as talked about Dean LeBoa and Marshall. We've got a lot of already great wins under our belt, and I just see it as modernization. And I think we're all aligned to that, so that's what's really exciting.
Any other questions? If not, then thank you all very much. We have a executive session to attend.